I'm Jacob.
I'm Yuri.
And we're going for a drive.
'22 Honda Civic Hatchback.
Sport touring without launch control. Oh, there we go. Okay.
Horsepower and torque.
180 horsepower, 177 pound-feet of torque from a 1.5-liter turbo 4-cylinder.
And this is not the 6-speed manual, but we really wanted to get into the hatchback as soon as possible because what we really wanted to know is, can this take more boxes or the same amount of boxes as the last gen Honda Civic Hatch?
Box test!
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
It's not gonna close.
Sorry we couldn't fit these boxes in this Civic, maybe on the 14th gen when they turn it into an SUV. Okay, so thank goodness it can fit as many boxes as the last Civic Hatchback 11. If it did any less, I don't know if I'd recommend it, but since it does, if you're looking for a new one in the United States, click the TrueCar link in the top right corner.
Discounted price offers. All right, so let's talk about that power delivery. Not the best off the line. Decent once you're going. Just, I recommend not brake boosting this car at all, ever.
Yeah, none the CVT. You just putt around town comfortably because this is a nice car. We did talk about it a lot when we compared it to the Corolla.
Yeah, definitely watch our comparison review.
But now we got the solo review in hatchback in blue. Can we talk about the differences in looks from the hatchback to the sedan?
One thing I'd like to mention is this is available in manual in the hatch only. Let's talk about the looks.
From the front end, the grille is slightly different. We got kind of little cutouts instead of lines at the grille part.
Right, because it's a sport touring.
I mean, they both look equally cool. I guess this looks a little cooler, but they both look equally aggressive, I think.
Yes, honeycomb is cool, just like your GTI shirt.
Yes.
Honeycombs.
And then this color blue as well.
Yes, Boost Blue, which is the same as the Civic Type R, which is cool of them to actually do that. If you're a Type R owner, let me know in the comments if you're upset by that.
Yeah, I can see people getting a little angry. Like, I want this special color I just put on any Civic Hatch.
Yeah. Ah!
Oh, and by the way, the new Civic Type R has been shown with some camo on it, and that looks pretty awesome.
Yeah, it looks like they definitely widened the fenders, not in like a tacked-on way like the previous gen.
But like previous gen Type R, the one that you can buy right now, is really
good. So is this car.
I would say the Type R of that arguably looks better than everything of this gen, but the normal ones of this gen look better than the non-Type Rs of that gen.
Yes, so far, yes.
Okay, then from the side view, can you tell it's a hatch?
Not really. You kind of can by the shorter overhang in the rear, but also not really.
Yeah, and then we've got that chrome thing that comes off the back of the windows. And I guess it goes all the way to the hatchback, but it doesn't go all the way to the glass on the non-hatchback, but they look very similar.
Yeah, this barely looks like a hatchback. So if you're a sedan shopper and for some reason you don't like hatchbacks, just get the hatchback. Like, this is great.
It's close enough. No one will know.
Exactly.
And since this is a sport touring, we also get these actually really amazing looking wheels.
Yeah, they're so basic, but they're so good because they're so basic. Just like a nice split 5-spoke classic design.
And what would be the Continental recommended tire for a Honda Civic Sport Touring?
Well, the factory tires that we're driving on, the Conti Pro Contact.
Winter's coming up. Make sure you get your winter tires on soon.
Yes, Viking Contact 7s, that would be the recommended tire for this car.
I would say by November 1st, have them on. Unless you live in Florida, in which case, do whatever you want.
Yes, and then tell us you live in Florida and you never have to deal with that.
And then from the back end, we've got a bigger glass at the back. That's how you know it's a hatchback.
Exactly. And then a shorter trunk overhang at the top, like less actual metal there.
Yeah, like the tiniest little bit of lip, but you do get a wiper on the hatch where you don't on the sedan.
Yeah, and then the taillights are also different. These are kind of like rounded, sort of lobster claw-ish, but not really.
It looks like a Kia Stinger to me.
Yeah, okay, the taillights.
But nothing...
The previous gen Stinger.
Yeah, but nothing fully connects, but I think it does look good, where the sedan will just have a cross and down.
And a fun little detail is that you can actually see the car in your gauge cluster, and then when you press the brakes, you can actually see them light up in the gauge cluster.
And these are the correct taillights for the hatch, not for the sedan.
So they did spend money to do that, which is great.
And then moving down to the bottom, unlike the sedan that we drove, this one actually has exhaust tips.
Yeah, so they are real-ish, they're 2021 real. So you can actually see the exhaust through the opening.
And I'm not mad about that, but we have a new test.
The decibel test.
We are going to do 4 big paces away and see how loud it is from the outside.
Take a listen.
So about 71, 72 decibels at whatever it's rev limiting at. And then for a reference, my Honda Element at its rev limiter was about 77 decibel.
And both of them can only rev to about 4,000 RPM. So if you're a police officer, do not use this test as a reference for anything.
Yeah, to let us know what we're doing wrong, and if you're an audio engineer or a cop, how do you do it? And is it a real test, or are you guys just making stuff up? Is there an actual law? We don't know, but we thought it would be fun.
Yeah, wait till we get into the like Lamborghinis and stuff where it goes into triple digits.
Wait till you get to my straight pipe VQ.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show a Lamborghini how it's done.
And we may even replace the box test with the decibel test because I think it's more relevant to a lot of cars. Yes, we're going to electric cars in the future, but then we can use it inside and stuff.
And since we've already crowned this Civic the king of box tests, just like the last Civic, it might be time to retire it.
Yeah, let us know on Patreon. Patreon people, don't worry. Do not panic. We'll refund your money if you don't want to be part of the decibel test, but we'll let you know.
So overall, looks-wise, hatch or sedan?
I would go hatch just because of the box test.
I would also agree with that. There's no coupe yet. Is there going to be a coupe?
Yeah, we don't actually know if the coupe is coming back. Let me talk about some handling now. So, I'm going to floor it into not cliche corner. And, I mean, honestly, this Civic is the most composed regular Civic I've ever driven, and probably anything in this class. It handles remarkably well. It also, the entire car just feels so well put together.
Yeah, it's chill.
But like the build quality is on another level compared to previous Civics and other cars in this class. The suspension comfort is on another level. This literally feels like a baby Honda Accord. The damping is perfect. The steering feels great. I actually love driving this car, and I would highly recommend this over a Corolla, like even a base or anything else, if you value comfort.
Okay, what looks better, this hatch or a baby blue Corolla hatch?
Okay, I think the Corolla looks
hatch
better.
looks way sicker.
But
they're both hatches, and this could probably fit more boxes, even though that looks like a hatch.
This 100% can.
Weird, eh?
Yeah, but I would still recommend this one based on the driving experience and even the interior experience, because this interior is so nice. And just briefly on this engine, it's quite nice. It's very smooth. You do get some of that slingshot effect. The CVT, I actually don't mind it at all. We do have paddles to simulate fake gears. I'm just gonna simulate a couple right now. I would never use them realistically. They're just there.
But you can also get a slower motor in the Civic as well.
Yes, you can get the 2-liter naturally aspirated one.
But us being fast car fanboys, we're just kind of waiting for the SI and the Type R.
Yeah, for sure we are. That Type R is going to be so nice. Okay, I did mention the interior, but let's get you behind the wheel to talk about this interior and some other things.
So interior-wise, first thing I noticed, we've got the infotainment that we loved back in the Accord. Moving from screen to screen, it is so fast. Most manufacturers totally screwed that up. And then this has a volume knob, no tuning knob, but we've got left and right tuning buttons.
Yeah, so Honda learned from the previous gen, all the complaints, they took it away, they brought it back.
And then we've got a home button and a back button, so that works pretty well. Below that, we've got hard buttons for our climate, which I think the new Lexus completely screwed up by putting it on the infotainment as touch buttons.
And the actual quality of these knobs, like the way everything actually feels, is amazing.
Yeah, the clickiness is really, really good. And then our vents, we got this cool honeycomb thing with the vents hidden behind it so it all blends well, but like push this one around. Feel how solid that is. That feels like, you know, you're putting enough power into it, but it's not like broken or cheap or anything. You know, it feels like light and dangly.
Yeah, this isn't like Acura quality even. Like this is like beyond what Acura has done, I think.
This would be like maybe Mercedes quality, like a C Mercedes base quality.
Yes, that is how next level this Civic is on the inside.
And by the way, this infotainment screen, it's not a large one, but it's far enough away. It's fully in my view. I really appreciate the size of this, and I wouldn't need anything larger than this.
And we have wireless and wired Apple CarPlay and Android Auto.
Yeah, it all works really well. I prefer the wired because I don't like the delay and I don't like auto connecting to my phone and all that stuff.
And then we do have some gloss black up here. Again, not too much. I think cleaning this honeycomb would probably get a little bit annoying. We don't really have any gloss black down here. They have this cool texture, which I really like.
Yeah, and we got 2 cup holders. There's enough room for a small cup of coffee for sure in that. Then in front of that, we got a wireless charger with these little things that stick up. So I don't think your phone will actually slide around too much in this. And then our gauge cluster is all digital in this one. We have a couple different modes where we can make it normal or simplified. Overall, it's very easy to see. There's nothing weird. You can see your radio or whatever song. Your mode is in the left. And then on the right, you can have your trip and stuff, or you can change it to just the needle. Then in the middle, we've got our lines and everything for radar cruise and lane keep. And the lane keep is pretty all right.
Yeah, it's Honda sensing. It's decent. You can see, like you said, in the middle, which is kind of cool because you can actually see the turns coming up. And what do we have for drive modes in this?
Normal, sport, and eco. And then the graphics are kind of nice in your gauge cluster screen. Yeah,
and it switches quickly, which is really nice.
And when you're in sport, it goes red. When you're in eco, it goes blue. But it'll show you green when you're not flooring. And then if you floor it, the green fades away. Remember the old one used to do that, but
yeah,
it was like
it was the top.
It was way more in your face every time.
Yeah.
I think this is good. More subtle.
And let's talk about these seats because holy crap, these are some of the most comfortable seats I have sat in.
Yeah, nothing weird about them, just normal, good, comfortable, which is one of the most refreshing things ever.
Yeah, it's kind of like those Nissan Sentra space seats.
But even better.
Exactly, like wow.
And then the back seat room, we've got plenty of room back there for both of us.
No issues.
And then into the trunk again, we do have that cool privacy cover that goes from the side that the old Civic had. It was very small. And then if you don't have the privacy cover all the way out, you can use those little things as grocery bag hangers maybe. I don't know what they're rated for. Maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe put too much and it just snaps it off.
Right, but you definitely have enough space for groceries back there.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah. Like Costco runs.
And then as for sound system, we have Bose speakers and are actually pretty decent. It's not like amazing, but it's definitely good enough for most people.
For this price point.
Unless you're buying a cheaper car just for the system, then I can't. You'd probably want a Mazda, right?
Probably. They also have a Bose system, but theirs was really in depth.
Yeah, they showed us that cool 360 augmented reality display, and that convinced me.
But maybe this also has that. They just never showed us the display from Honda. So is that pretty much everything for this interior?
Besides the visors.
Oh yes, let's check these visors if they're different.
3, 2, 1.
Yes.
Okay.
Good job, Honda.
Full pass. Before we get to the price, if you're looking for a new Civic, tsp.truecar.com in the top right corner.
So the Civic Hatch starts at $28,000.
Canadian.
And we are driving the top trim, the Sport Touring, for $35,000.
And if you got the 6-speed manual instead of the CVT, there is no price difference in Canada.
Yeah, so that's interesting positioning. They're not punishing you for getting manuals or the CVT. So
save the manuals.
Yeah, good job.
So let us know what you think about the new Civic Hatch below. Hatch or sedan?
Boost Blue, are you mad?
Manual or CVT?